We're rolling. Yo, what's up, people? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your boy, IFBB PRO Matt Butali, and today we're going to be talking about a common misconception that most people have that try to lose weight. Okay, most people have this misconception, and I'm going to talk about it. It's right in our face, it's blatant, and I'm going to drop it down. We're going to be talking about the fact that food doesn't make you fat; you make yourself fat, and that's sort of explanatory. That sort of already just makes sense as it is, but it isn't the only thing that we have to take into account here, okay? Because most people blame their weight gain on certain foods and they don't know why. Maybe they heard that for whatever reason, carbs will make you fat, or that red meat will make you fat, or whatever it is, and they stop eating that food altogether. And then, they do this crazy diet, lose some weight, but then gain it back because, they actually like the food that they cut out. So we're going to be breaking it down. We're going to be talking about it today. Dalen, what's good? Lizzie, what the fuck is up? Nasser, what's good? Nasser Gonzalez, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it, Lizzie. Always the compliments. You kill me. Okay. So if you're new to this and you haven't ever tuned into a Meathead on the Mic podcast, I'm going to let you know that I, of course, allow for meaningful discourse. We can talk. You can ask questions. You can drop questions, but I will answer them at the end of the podcast recording so that we stay on topic. Big man Tom Dog, what the fuck is good? I see you there, bro. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, thank you for saying, hey, what's up? I don't like sitting ducks, so I appreciate you saying something and not just sitting in the corner there quietly. Okay, so with that out the way, again, guys and girls, I'm going to say it one more time. You can drop comments. You can drop questions as I go along, but I will do my best to answer them at the end of the podcast recording, which today shouldn't take more than 15-20 minutes. It's gonna be a short episode, short and sweet, right to the point. So let's get it done. Okay, without wasting any time, we'll be diving into this podcast episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yo, what's good, meatheads? Hope you're having an amazing day, and welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your boy, IFBB PRO Matt Butali, coming at you with another topic today, okay? And today I'll be breaking down the fact that junk food doesn't actually make you fat, but your lack of knowledge on how to eat it and not gain weight keeps you fat, okay? So long story short, you can eat junk food, still lose weight. But most people don't know that. You just cut out junk food altogether and then hope for the weight to just come off, okay? And of course, if you have an addiction, you want to sort of steer away from obviously eating junk food all the time, if that's something that you always do and you struggle with, but you don't have to cut it out completely. And the reason why it's not worth cutting out completely is because, ask yourself, can you honestly promise yourself that you will never eat a burger in your life again, a pizza, wings, or anything like that? Like, what if you're at a wedding, and there's food there? You want to eat the food. It smells good, it looks good, but you're like, oh, I told myself I'll never have this thing ever again. Like, think of how unrealistic that might feel to you, and then apply it because it is unrealistic. And most people that do that end up failing and then gaining the weight that they initially lost because they can't control that urge to never do something again, which is fine. And I would never urge you to never do something again. I would always urge you to try to control it so that you have more control than the thing that honestly had control over you. So if you're overweight, then fast food likely has control over you, or lack of portion control has control over you. Okay. But if you are taking care of everything and making sure everything is aligned, what is that? Well, it's a complete opposite. Now you are in control of your vice. Okay. So that's what it is. It's never about completely eliminating a thing. It's about having more control. Like, think of smokers, alcoholics. It would be beautiful if they could just cut it out cold turkey. But that's just not the way our brains are wired. We have to take our time to get off of whatever it is that we are addicted to. And either we cut it out completely if it's actually like literally cancerous, if it's like smoking, right? Or if you have severe alcoholism, you might want to consider quitting that. But junk food, yes, it can kill you. But if you if you are in more control of junk food than junk food is in control of you, then you are in a position where you can learn how to still eat it and lose weight. Okay. But if you are addicted, I would recommend at least 3 to 4 months of trying your hardest not to have it, not to quit it forever, but just to quit it for 3 to 4 months so you can get that willpower and that discipline built up in your mind so that when you do incorporate it, you know that you don't have to lose control because you've proven to yourself for 3 or 4 months, of course, if you do this, that you can go without it and that you'll only eat it sparingly. Okay. And again, these are just terms I'm throwing out in the air, but everything does come down to numbers, and the numbers are based off of like specifically where your body is, right? If you are starting off super overweight, if you are starting off super underweight, depending on whatever your situation is, your height, your physical activity level, your age, gender, so on and so forth. Those are all variables that you're going to have to consider when it comes to how much junk food you could eat and still make progress. Making progress means putting muscle and burning fat in your fitness journey. It varies for everybody. But long story short, cutting out foods in general because you think those certain foods specifically will make you fat is nonsense. And I'm not blaming you. I'm not pointing the finger. I'm simply telling you that what you've been told is a lie. And if you don't believe me, well, it's the reason why your friends that are slim, that are skinny, can eat literally houses full of food and not gain weight. Why is that? Because they're not always eating junk food. But when they do eat junk food, they go all out. And if they always eat junk food and they're still underweight or losing weight, well, then, as I told you, it is a numbers game. It's the calories that you consume versus the calories that you burn. And for the skinny people or the people that quote unquote have high metabolisms, they typically don't hit their caloric requirements to maintain their weight. And at most, they will maintain their weight or hit their maintenance level calories, which is why they can eat all this crap and still not put on size because they don't eat enough anyway. And theoretically speaking, everybody could do that. You could put yourself in a calorie deficit and only eat junk food, but you will make progress. You might gain some muscle as well, of course, depending on your training style. But it also does depend on the diversity of your calories. So let's say 3,000 calories of junk versus 3,000 calories of clean food, two different things. First of all, 3,000 calories of clean food most people couldn't eat because it's just a lot of food. It's a lot of food volume. Whereas junk food, 3,000 calories, you can get that in a box of Oreos, maybe a tub of ice cream. Boom. And anybody can do that. Ice cream is so easy to eat, and Oreos, you can eat them blindly. But to get 3,000 calories is about 5 wholesome cooked meals and a solid breakfast, or 4 bigger meals and a solid breakfast, 5 to 6 meals, 3,000 calories. Okay? So the quality of the calories matter. Why? Because of not only the nutritional aspect, of course, home cooked food is healthier than junk food. We know that already. We learned that in grade school. It has more vitamins and so on and so forth, but it also has a better macronutrient spread. Macronutrients, guys and girls, for those of you that don't know, carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Protein being the most important in this case if we're talking about building muscle and burning fat in our fitness journey. Okay, so if you choose 3,000 calories of whole food that you cook at home, you have more control over the amount of protein that you can consume out of 3,000 calories versus the protein that you can consume out of 3,000 calories of junk. Whereas you could probably just get one extra large pizza and a 2-liter soda, and that's pretty much 3 liters or 3,000 calories right there. Right. And the protein is nowhere comparable to the amount that you could get if you cooked it at home, which makes it less beneficial in your fitness journey, even if you are burning fat to build muscle. Why? Because you're not getting enough protein from that 3,000 calorie diet. Even though they're both 3,000 calories, the numbers go deeper than just the calories. It's macros too. How many grams of protein are you getting? How many grams of carbs are you getting? How many grams of fats are you getting? And how consistent is that? Your micronutrients, how hydrated are you as well? Are you drinking water consistently? Those variables, okay? Those are all the things that you need to focus on the most when it comes to actually changing your body as opposed to just cutting out food groups, okay? Eating junk doesn't make you fat. It makes losing weight harder if you struggle with controlling your urges eating junk. You can still lose weight while eating junk, but if you struggle with addiction, like just like any addiction, you want to ease yourself off of it. Okay. And if you choose to never eat junk food again, you can do that. I know people that just honestly threw in the towel for soda, and you can do that if you really want to. But if you truly don't want to and you're forcing yourself to do it, even if you do it for a short period of time, you will end up relapsing. And I'm not saying that to make it so that you don't believe in yourself, but I'm saying it like if you want to do it, just fucking do it. Have the burger, have the pizza, because if you cut it out for an entire 6 months or a year, and you make the best progress in the world, first of all, you're going to be afraid of burgers and pizza because you're going to think that every time I eat that, I'm just going to get super fucking fat, I'm going to lose control, and I'm going to undo all my progress. And it will happen because you will eat that one burger and then you will go down that spiral because you haven't had it for so long, which is why I would say veer away from it. Even if you do have an addiction, still incorporate it and then continue to do that over a longer period of time and do a diet that actually works. Like you can eat the things that you want to eat, the things that are in your diet, whether they're home cooked meals or junk food from time to time. Like if you have that option, dieting is not dieting. It's just living healthier. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Again, guys and girls, eating junk doesn't make you fat. It just makes losing weight harder if you struggle with controlling your urges eating junk. Okay? Put it this way, an Oreo cookie is about 53 calories and weighs about 11 grams. 25 grams of cooked rice is about 25 calories and weighs 25 grams. So for literally a do you even know how? I think 25 grams is about 2 tablespoons of rice cooked. 2 tablespoons of cooked rice, okay, is 25 calories versus the one Oreo, which is smaller than 2 tablespoons of rice, which is 53 calories and weighs 11 grams. Okay, so it weighs less and has more calories, which means you can technically eat more of it and feel less full, which is bad because if we understand that calories or body fat or your fitness journey is dependent on the numbers, calories in versus calories out, and the macronutrients you're getting. First of all, you're getting a horrible macronutrient and micronutrient value spread there. But on top of that, you're getting a ridiculous calorie ratio that makes the food super light, so you can eat a lot of it. It's easy to eat, barely have to chew it, but it gives you the most amount of calories, which is how you get fat accidentally. Because you're like, I just had fucking, 5 Oreos, or I just had 10 Oreos. But 10 Oreos is about 530 calories. And like, think of how easy it is to eat 10 Oreos. 530 calories. To like, think about that. Think about that. To get the same 530 calories, I could literally have 2 home cooked meals of like 5 ounces of meat and about 200 grams of rice each. And that's 2 meals. And I can get at least 100, not even 100, close to 80, 90 grams of protein out of those 2 meals, right? Whereas you're eating 10 Oreo cookies, right? And you're getting maybe 3 grams of protein, 6 maybe grams of protein, as opposed to the near 100. And it's a lot less food. So it's like Oreos are small versus the larger meals that are home cooked that will make you feel full and also abide by the numbers game to help you burn the fat. So again, guys and girls, think about this. Like, I know you don't think about calories this way, but look at how much the food weighs and how many calories that food has based off of how much it weighs. If it's a super light food, it weighs almost nothing and it has high calories, it's likely junk. Stay away from it or control it. And if you struggle with it, like you're addicted flat out, cut it out for a little bit, not forever, but cut it out until you can control it. Okay? Rice is about 1 calorie per gram. Okay? Oreos is about 4.8 calories per gram. Do you see what I'm saying here? Do you understand what I'm talking about? If you look at the numbers, junk food is literally easier to eat because it's smaller in your stomach, but will have the worst effects because it has the highest amount of calories per gram for how much it weighs. Does that make sense to you? Which it's the reason why people say you can eat more, okay, eat more food and burn more fat. What are they talking about? They're talking about eating wholesome, healthy foods. It's the same thing that applies. If 1 calorie is a gram of rice and 4.8 calories is a gram of Oreo, you're going to probably want to eat the rice to be able to eat the most amount of food and still hit the calorie requirement. Because again, you don't want to be starving yourself. If you eat only junk, you'll be fucking starving yourself because the food is light and the calories are high. That's probably why you struggle with dieting because you don't choose the right foods that will make you feel full, but also respect the calories number that's going to help you burn fat and build muscle. And of course, that on top of that, keep your body super healthy by keeping micronutrients in the course. Okay, that you get a lot of, like the vitamins and so on and so forth, and the minerals from the home cooked whole foods. Okay, so again, like what, like just ask your, like think of this, like why am I focusing of the weight of the food? Why? It's because of the food is a part of the volume. Like the food is part of the volume. The volume is the size here. Having a wholesome meal that has some weight to it, that has some density, makes us feel more full. Okay, and even more full when we drink water. Which is again, if you're on your hydration and you're eating healthy, you can eat a really low amount of calories and feel full as fuck. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. As I said, rice weighs more than Oreo cookies, but has less calories, which means you could eat more by eating less calories. You can literally feel more full by eating less calories. As oxymoronic as that sounds. This means you don't need to feel like you're starving in order to hit a lower calorie limit and in order to lose weight, burn fat. Because we all know the main way to burn fat and build muscle, get into a calorie deficit, keep your protein high, train as hard as you can, as consistent as you can. Doesn't mean train like a bodybuilder. I mean, if that's what you want to do it, right? But if you're a busy person, a busy mom, busy dad, it's literally the best that you could do. 2 to 3 days counts. Going on walks when you didn't count. But the number one thing that counts is what you put in your fucking mouth. For the love of God. That's the number one thing that counts. And then the physical activity has to, play in if you want to sculpt and mold your body. Okay? Think of let's say, I don't know if you know what glass blowing is. If you know what glass blowing is, where they make, glass, they heat up glass and then they'll mold it into certain shapes. Okay. Think of the heat as the kitchen, the heat that you apply to the glass. All right. That's what allows the glass to be malleable, and you can bend it, you can fold it, you can shape it and contort it into whatever shape you want it to. And in order to change the shape, in order to make that glass fit a mold, you've got to use some sort of casting, right? To mold that glass. And in this case, the casting would be the gym. So the gym is going to help you sculpt the heated up glass. The glass is you. The heat is the kitchen. The mold is the gym. So you need to be doing everything in order to make sure that you can sculpt your physique in a way where you actually want to, you'd be proud of this. You'd be proud of what you have on your body. Okay? Again, that if you understand that, dieting will never be hard. It will never be hard, which makes like home cooked meals even more worth it, because you can save a lot more money doing it that way too. You eat more, you burn more fat at the same time. It's literally the best of both worlds. It's sort of like, okay, and for those of you that are just tuning in there on the live stream, this is about food not making you fat, you making yourself fat. Okay. And when I thought of this title, another thought that came to my mind is the same thing. And I know some of you guys might disagree, some of you guys might disagree, but it's also like guns. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Knives don't kill people, people kill people. The knife itself will never get up and stab you. The gun itself will never walk to you and shoot you. The person does the action with the thing that kills the person. Okay? It's the same with food. Junk food won't make you fat. But if you stuff your face full of it day in, day out, and you don't exercise, go figure. Literally. It's the same thing. Every weapon is the same. And you can have a weapon of mass destruction, which is junk food, or you can have a weapon of temporary pleasure, which is junk food. Okay? But depending on how you control it and how you consume it is going to ultimately determine your ability to stick with not even your diet, but with living in a way where you don't have to you don't have to shackle yourself to a certain ideology or a certain thing where it's like you cut out everything that isn't related to it. You can still incorporate it, still get the results, and have the best of both worlds. Not starve, not feel like you're starving. It is possible with the extra effort, though. Okay? Again, guns don't kill people, people do. Food doesn't make you fat, you make yourself fat. Take full responsibility and take full control over this information. All right? That's it. That's all. If you like this episode, share it out with a friend. I hope I was able to deliver a valuable experience to you guys and girls today. Don't forget to screenshot and share this podcast on whatever social media platform you are watching this on or listening to this to. We are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Okay, let's embrace your inner meathead together. It's been nice chatting. Hope you like what today's topic was about. IFBB PRO Matt Brutale signing out. Boom. Podcast episode is recorded. Let's get into it. I'm going to look at some of the comments here on TikTok really quickly, and then I'm going to run out of here. Big man, Tom Dog, what's good? Jagdish says, are you from Bumble? This is funny, bro. TikTok. Some people on TikTok are just ridiculous. Wade says, Matt here. So a meal type likes? I don't understand, bro. I don't get that. Scott Charleston says, what does this put me up to speed? Put in cheap gas, your car will run like poo. Same thing goes with your body and food. 100%. Yeah. So someone here is listening. Someone here is paying attention. That's true. And that's sort of what I was getting at here the whole time. Right. And it's not only that cheap gas is going to make your car run like poo, but like, let's just say you have a decent car, you never put cheap gas in it, but you went on a road trip and you're so fucking far out, there's no premium gas anywhere to be found. You got to take the regular to get back to the city. sometimes you're going to be in situations, right? And I'm saying that it's okay to be in that situation if you're not always abusing it. Because if you continuously put cheap gas in your engine, it will explode. If you're assuming you're driving a car that takes premium or whatever, right? So the whole thing is more of not even a balanced thing, but it's more of like a realistic thing. Like I would never tell anybody that's trying to lose weight to never eat a certain food unless they had a problem with that certain food and were addicted to eating that certain food. I would tell them to try their best to quit it for a certain period of time, but never to quit it forever. Because if you quit it forever, it just creates that unnecessary pressure. Or if you think you quit it forever, you tell yourself that, creates this unnecessary pressure in your head where you think that if you touch that food even, you're going to undo all your progress. And to be afraid of food in any way, to fear food or anything you can put in your mouth in any way, it's bad. It's not going to make you, it's fucked up. And I don't like to talk about relationship with food because I don't even know what the fuck that means, to be honest with you. But the way you think about food does matter, right? Like it does matter. If you think, oh, if I have bread, I'm gonna, everything's done. My life is over. I'm gonna fucking put on fat again. If you have that mindset with food, it's going to be very hard to actually change your body. You have to understand that it's never the food that's the problem. Like you can't blame anything else or anyone else but yourself. And I'm not saying that to bully you. I'm not saying that so you can be down on yourself. I'm saying that because it's real and it's true. Fast food will not make you fat. If I have one French fry every single day, like just one French fry, just one, will I get fat? Like how many calories even is one French fry? Half a calorie. So it's that food will not make me fat, but if I abuse it, it'll make me fat. Same thing goes with whole foods. If you eat way too many whole foods that you don't need, like if you are going way over your maintenance level for calories in whole foods, you will still get fat. It doesn't matter about the type of food when it comes to putting on fat, but it does matter about the type of food when you're putting on muscle. Okay? That's the point here. And I want you to understand that. I want you to understand that it's never like you don't have to cut out a certain food in order to make progress in your fitness journey. And matter of fact, if you don't cut out a certain food to make progress, that progress is actually going to be permanent because you don't have that subconscious thought in the back of your head, oh, I can't have pizza, oh, I can't have, this and that. You have the subconscious thought in your head that, okay, I could have this sometimes, but I have to make it fit into my overall calories requirement, which is, again, the numbers game, calories in versus calories out, and the calories that you burn in the gym, as well as your rested calories. Your BMR, the calories you burn when you're resting. All right? Hope that was clear. Vocal Mogul says, no, I definitely can't promise that. Oh yeah, this episode's definitely for me. Vocal Mogul, what's good? I appreciate you there for tuning in. Jimmy, what's good? Primal Joel, Music Piano, what's up? Block Disciple, what's good? Dalen, what the fuck is up? He says gonna go to the gym. Hope the rest of the pod goes well. See you, dude. I appreciate you, my dude. Thank you for tuning in as always. Much love. Kazu, what the fuck? It's been a minute. Jed, thank you for joining. All right, people. That's it. That's all. Thank you so much for your precious time today on the Meathead on the Mic podcast. We are out. Have yourself a sick ass, kick ass Thursday. Boom.